and welcome to another episode of the Anime Lounge podcast. I'm your host, Lance, here with my other host, Matt. And we got our guest host, Tyler, back in the house.
Yo, thanks for having me back.
In every episode, we like to start off with our adult beverages of choice. Today, I am going to be drinking a mix on an old-fashioned, and this is made with brown sugar, cinnamon, always have to have the good old bitters, and then some Four Roses whiskey, blend all that together, and it's actually really good. I like it a lot. And just so everybody knows, the traditional old-fashioned is some muddled cherries, oranges, bitters, and like 2 cubes of sugar, and then you throw the whiskey in on that. So it's a little bit different, but altogether, it's still super good. And then I'm chasing that back with some Rockers Red Champion Red Lager, which is a Green Bay local beer because they're our semi-professional
minor league
team.
Minor league baseball team. It's a Green Bay baseball team.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's what I'm drinking. What do you got, Matt?
How is that, by the way? I haven't had that yet.
It's not bad. I mean, I'm not one for a red lager, but this one's actually pretty smooth.
Oh, nice. I am also having the play on an old-fashioned, and I am drinking a Carry the G because, drinking some more staple Wisconsin drinks. What about you, Tyler?
I'm drinking a good old silo Twisted Tea Pineapple.
Sounds...
Get that
fantastic.
The 24-ouncer.
Ain't nobody gonna catch me tripping in a gas station. I'm talking about strapped and clapped.
Yeah, I'd slap a guy just to get away with that.
Unfortunately for this episode, I am got a little bit of a sickness going on, so I'm gonna try and power through. Hopefully I can push through this one.
Yeah. So just so everyone's aware.
But I gotta drink some whiskey because
Yeah, you gotta numb the throat.
Yeah, it makes you feel better, right?
Mm-hmm.
Lance, you want to give us a synopsis for what we're covering?
Yeah, so I'm going to keep this super short and sweet. Today we're going to be covering 1,000-Year Blood War, Cour 2. And in this cour, we get the true invasion of the Soul Society from the Stern Ritters. We get a lot of amazing battles, like freaking lot of battles. And we ultimately end up with Squad Zero taking on the brute force of everybody. And now we're going to be taking on all the true baddies. And
yeah. Definitely go with that one. That's
I mean, we'll talk about all these battles because that's really what this is pure battles. Yeah, so lots of battles. We'll talk about some battles.
Yeah, definitely very shonen-esque in this one. But before we get too far, you want to give us that Lance's lesson?
Today's Lance's Lessons is going to be the Japanese word for fear, and that is kyofu. Kyofu is spelt Kyoufu. And that's very relevant to today's episode because one of our bad characters, Asnot, is got the power of fear. So we're going to pull his Japanese word out of his ass, and we're going to use that today.
Yeah, he was pulling a lot of things out of himself, so
he looked like a walking ass. That dude just morphed into something just out of your fears.
He looks like all his kinks are feared. So yeah, kyofu.
If anybody remembers from the last time we had Tyler on, he gave us a little word game, and we're kind of trying something out. We're going to call it Stump the Pod, and let's see if Tyler can get away with another set of questions.
No, I got you guys last time pretty good because I was playing on teeny little bit of touches on it.
Oh, that's right. You got us on some
technicalities.
Yeah,
but they were accurate though.
You're right.
So,
very true.
Do you want me just like last time? Do we want to go say one?
Yeah, let's
truth
do one.
Or lie.
Yeah, one by one.
The other truth or lie.
Yep.
All right, how many you got?
All right, I got 6 total.
Okay. Oh man.
What a bit.
All right. First death was a Quincy.
God, now I gotta remember episode 1.
I'll let you guys think, and then when you guys got the answer, I'll just be like, Lance, what's your answer?
I need the title of episode 1.
Hey, it's supposed to be off knowledge. You ain't looking nothing up. You do this yourself.
It's a yes or no question.
Should have took notes. It's true or false. That's all it is.
You know what? It probably was. Because I'm trying to think when Yuhaba was giving a speech to everybody, and then the one that wanted to go fucking eat or fucking kill one of the other ones. I think that might have been one of the first deaths. So I'm gonna go with yes, it was a Quincy that died first. What are you thinking, Matt?
So when you talk about that, I'm going to go with no, because I'm pretty sure it was a Roncar.
A Roncar?
Yeah, pretty sure it was a Roncar that got forced / chose to help the Quincy's.
I'm not remembering.
Matt, we're on part 2, not part 1.
I guess I don't remember that.
I don't remember any
But
Roncars.
Lance is right. Bambietta got pissed that Uryu was now the successor, and she brought another Quincy in there and split him in half.
Was that scene?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was right.
Okay.
Got you.
Yeah.
All right. The first distortion you see is in episode 1.
Distortion?
Mm-hmm. Well, episode 14 if you're chronological order, but episode 1.
Yeah, everything we're talking about is core 2. So describe distortion. What do you?
So the distortions are...
It's where they were linking the human world and the soul society, and it's also what they the Quincy's were using to hide.
Urahara was talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like the shadows?
Because it was more like it was distorting time around there because it was like an open space. And it was a distortion, and that's what they had to use to collect.
Oh, like
to be able to get the power to get their ship up.
You saw the Vizards talking about it.
Yeah.
Urahara and the Vizards were talking about it.
When Yoriichi showed up and had all those jars, that was all distortion energy.
Okay. And you're saying that's in the first episode?
Yep. First one you see is in the first episode.
Okay, well, since I'm asking so many questions, I'm going to go with, I think it was in the first episode.
Well, just so we can keep going on getting them right, I'm going to go with no, because I have no idea. I don't remember.
It was the first episode because it was quick, but later in the series, I can't remember the exact episode where...
Urahara is talking about?
Yeah, Urahara was talking to the Vizards.
Yeah.
That you noticed the picture because it actually pointed out and focused on the distortions. But the picture it was using was a conversation he was actually having in episode 1. You could see them standing next to the distortion and looking at it.
Did not notice that. So good catch.
Sternritter H for Heat, which is Baz B.
Yeah.
Stole Hitsugaya's Bankai.
I do remember this one. So.
Oh, I want to say yes. It's in my head. I know it's in there. I'm just going to need a minute to think. Yeah, I think it was him because I remember him saying something. I'm pretty sure it was him, but whoever took it was like, whoever steals their Bankai has the right to kill them. So yeah, I'm going to go with yes.
So no, and it was, I remember his initial was I. So the guy that gets decapitated.
Yep.
What was his
Basby was initially fighting him.
Yeah.
Yes.
But the Sternritter, I can't remember his name. It's like Sage or something.
We'll just say Sternritter I.
Sternritter I for Iron
was
the one who actually stole it.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Woohoo, I got one.
All right. First stolen Bankai seen, like used not by the original person, but used by the Sternritters was soy phones.
Interesting.
Lance, I'm just going to let you keep going first since you've answered first on all of these.
Mm-hmm. Man, this is stuff that I did not truly pay attention to. Yeah, I'm going to go with a guess. Sure. Yeah, she was the first. I remember the fight scene that she came in on, but I can't remember the order of events.
So what was the question again? The first stolen Bankai that was used? So you saying...
By the Sternritters.
By the Sternritters. So no.
That you see.
I'm going to go with no, because that robot thing, I don't think ever actually uses her Bankai. The first one, I believe, is Iron.
Yeah, that is correct. He said, I can beat you without even using your Bankai.
Yeah.
Right.
Damn. All right, 2 and 2.
I might actually only have 5 because we pre-talked about one.
We'll see. My memory is terrible. I probably already forgot about this conversation.
All right. Sternritter Z is a man.
Sternritter Z?
Oh.
Can I at least look in to see who Sternritter Z is?
Just the way you phrase this.
Okay, yeah.
It's easy to figure.
Yeah, that's
Z
right.
Zombie.
Yeah.
That's why I was going to leave that one out, because we literally talked about it right before we started.
Yeah.
All right.
Just so everyone's on the same page, that was Giselle.
Yep. So last one. Yachiru Shikai is the only one that doesn't change form.
We should probably say that no, it is a dude. We should at least answer the question.
It is a dude. He's a dude. She's a dude. We're all dudes.
It's a dude. It's definitely got a dick. So, which I like the Japanese. I like the subversion better because they're like, it's got a dick.
Yeah, you're right. I forgot about that.
Versus, I'm trying to think. He just says, "Oh, you're a man." Versus, I like the subversion of that one better. But then, yes. So what's the last question?
Yachiru's Shikai is the only one that doesn't change form.
Yeah, she herself does not. So everyone's on the same page. Yachiru is the little girl that hangs around Kenpachi.
Yachiru. I think Kenpachi says Yachiru.
Maybe. I mean, it sounds Japanese enough right there, too.
Yeah.
We're just putting emphasis in different spots. Yachiru.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, she herself does not change because she has these two monsters that manifest. So I don't know if that's part of the question, part of the answer that you're looking for.
What's the question again?
Yachiru's Shikai is the only one that doesn't change form in Shikai.
Yes, that's true. Because I'm drawing a blank on what her name is, because she's like, her sword didn't change, but these things manifested.
It was Unohana's lieutenant.
Yeah,
I can't remember her name, but it was Unohana's lieutenant that pointed it out.
Yeah, and she's like, this is really weird. Yes, that one. So no, it does not change.
I'll give it to you guys. I stumped you guys pretty good on the first one. This one, you guys caught on. You paid more attention this week. I'm proud of you.
Okay, well, when you're talking about distortions, that was something that I truly just straight up did not pay attention to.
I think the reason why I caught it is because I watched it once for myself and then watched it again to take notes.
Yeah.
So I knew about the distortions watching episode 1 again.
Okay, well, I mean, I saw it twice too, and I still didn't even care.
I've read the manga twice, and I still didn't notice.
Yeah, so that's just something you picked up on. But now that we have Stump the Pod taken care of so that no potential spoilers were potentially ruining Tyler's questions, let's jump into some Matt's Manga mentions. NANI?!
Yeah, let's get into this. I will say this was a long one for the manga.
Okay.
We're going to need a couple breaks.
I can't breathe. All right.
He needs some milk.
For anybody that wants to start at the end of Cour 2, it is on chapter 609. And for anybody that wants to read the manga from the beginning of Cour 2, it started on 543. So we're talking 66 chapters for these 13 episodes. For anybody that is new to the pod, I start from the beginning of, in this case, the cour, the first episode, and work my way all the way through. So you don't see Ichibei and Ichigo talking in the beginning like you do in the anime. That whole part doesn't happen.
Oh, okay.
There's a couple added scenes. We'll just put it that way. Yuhaba doesn't have his long motivational speech prior to announcing his successor. So that whole just getting everybody all fired up, all the Stern Readers. Yeah, he's basically like, ha-da-da-da-da. And now my successor is Uryu. And something that I like better in the manga is that Yuhaba is actually standing above everybody all by himself. And then he has Uryu come out and stand next to him. In the anime, they're all kind of like... So he has his second person, which is Hashwal, next to him. But in the manga, he's not there. He's standing with the crowd of people. Rukia and Renji talk about getting fitted for their clothing with Shutara, which is the Weave Squad Zero member. And it's just a funny part where she makes him get naked and Renji doesn't want to get naked and she threatens to cut off his dick.
Oh, that would have been funny. We have no problem showing all this blood and decapitation in the anime, but a little bit of penis chopping can't fly in the anime. Damn.
A little bit of Wang jokes just don't work.
That would have been funny.
Yeah, he didn't want to take off his loincloth thing. And yeah, she was threatened to cut off his dick. Ichigo's family also gets soul tickets.
Okay.
Because I saw that when Shunsui came to the world of the living, he only gave it to his 3 friends who were there.
Yep.
That we seen in the anime.
So in the manga, those friends also get it, but then his sisters and father also get it.
Okay, so they do at least acknowledge in the manga that his sister's still alive and still around. And
Yep.
Okay, because I'm pretty sure, I don't remember the last time the sister has even been relevant at all.
Yeah, you don't see the family very much.
They were only on a quick showing in the anime. It was literally like a second showing, and that was it.
Yep. It wasn't Basby that talks about how Yuhaba predicted the Soul Society would do the counterattack. It was actually Robert Acetone, Sternritter. Oh man, what's his? It's the guy with the gun, the old.
Oh, the old guy, sure.
Yeah, it's that guy. And then the Robot Quincy, so RBG9, actually attacks Mario, who is the sister. It's that little girl. Like, he actually does stab her. So the one where, oh man, the Soul Reaper is trying to protect his sister. It's Soyphone's lieutenant.
Oh, that, like, chubbier guy?
Yeah, it's the chubby guy.
Okay.
And he's trying to protect his sister from getting attacked by the robot.
Yep.
Well, his sister gets, like, stabbed in the shoulder.
Oh, okay.
In the manga. And you actually never get to see Shinji's Bankai, which is, at least in a full effect. You see him talking about it against Bombetta, but obviously the same thing happens like against Bombetta where where she just was like, all right, fine, I'll just throw a shit ton of bombs everywhere. It doesn't matter if I'm distorted.
So is it Bombetta or Bambietta? Because everywhere I saw was Bambietta. Because even in the anime, they're calling her Bambi.
Okay, Bambietta. Okay, yeah, it's Bambietta. So
I just wanted to make sure, because when we start talking about it, because Bambietta is a big part of it,
yes,
that we're at least on the same page.
Yep. So it's you miss out on Shinji's basically having all the low-level Sternritters attack each other. So that was a really cool part that was added. You never see Ichigo walking through his like trial. So basically at the very end of every episode where Ichigo is slowly progressing through that thing. Yeah, that
was so annoying. Like, I can understand how everybody's like, this anime is supposed to be about Ichigo, where the hell is he? And then we show him doing the exact same thing at the end of every fucking episode, taking a couple steps through some beautiful looking, I don't know, scenery. And that's it. I'm like, okay, I get it. Show me that once, don't show me the same thing.
And you mean instead of never seeing Ichigo until he comes down
his
from
5 seconds of fame. About all he got for screen time.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. Here's his swords. All right, now forget about him. At least they gave us Kenpachi. But anyway, let's continue.
Yeah, at least they got to play with my feelings for a little bit.
The only fight with Superstar before Renji is the fight with the two captains. So all that extra stuff that happens, you don't see any of that.
I can't remember who Superstar fought the first time.
So he fought
he fought 69.
Yumichika, he fought Ikaku, and he fought Shue.
Shue, yeah, he's the 69 guy.
Yes.
Oh, that's right. He came over, beat them up, and then
the two captains
came in and basically said, like, oh, you got your ass beat by this guy, okay.
And then very anticlimactically get their ass beats. Yes. You do learn about Yuhaba's backstory a little bit. And I'm not going to talk about it only because you were probably going to find out about it in Core 3. So I'm just going to leave it at that. You do find out more about Yuhaba and kind of how he came to be. Mm-hmm. Renji passes out right after his fight with Superstar. Rukia and him have a conversation where basically they're like, be careful because this is going to use a lot of your power, stuff like that. The conversation between Yuhaba and Ichibei in the past never happens. So that's an added scene as well.
For what? Really?
Yeah.
That whole scene sounded super important and, pretty awesome that they were fucking butting heads even back then. And
1,000 years ago?
Yeah. And had to, shut him up for 1,000 years.
Yeah.
Damn.
I have a feeling the anime did that due to the fact of letting Yuabaha up there for a reason of why Ichibei did it, because of the past that he had with them. So I feel like that's maybe why the anime added it in.
So does the manga support that they had some history, period, or?
No, but the thing with 1,000 Year Blood War is Tights, Kaibo was actually involved in everything that happened in 1,000 Year Blood War. So anything extra, he had to approve it. So this was probably one of his ideas that he just never put into the manga.
Sure.
It was his storyline that just wasn't written.
Yeah.
Or maybe he thought of it after the fact, like, oh, that would have been some dope information, and it was too late.
Yeah, because since everything was on Shonen Jump, timelines, stuff like that, so
Right.
it's like couldn't figure out a way to get it in the manga section, so he's just like, we'll just leave it, and then here we are, we get it after the fact, just like Shinji's fight with his Bankai. You never get to see that, but then here it is in full frontal.
I really like Shinji's Bankai fight.
Yes.
His Bankai is ridiculous.
We'll definitely talk about this.
I can't wait until we see Shunsui's Bankai, the fact that it's banned from being used.
Oh, yeah. But we need to get back to the manga.
Yes.
You gotta give him a chance to breathe, all right?
Just let me get my inhaler real fast. All right. So it's actually Tenjiro who's the one that greets Yuhaba, not Shutara. So the Weaver chick, it's Tenjiro who's the
blood guy?
The blood guy, yeah.
Okay.
Here's one of the controversial things from the internet. It is the interaction about Orihime's clothes that they left out.
Take babies.
So you find out that she's actually wearing those because Urahara tricked her into thinking that Ichigo would like it.
Oh, really?
Yes. And then he's like, she might be showing a little too much skin. And then Yoruichi comes in and was like, just basically giving Ichigo a hard time, making him feel bad because he's like, she's doing this for you. You should be enjoying this. And yeah, it's
okay.
So
they're fucking big, dude.
They were fucking huge.
I remember.
So you go back to original Bleach. No sweaters hiding that.
No,
like
she was big and she was big in Bleach, but holy
that
fuck.
shit tripled.
Yeah, dude.
It was all that bread.
That shit's our whole upper torso.
Yeah, she's a big pawn eater. Pawn. Oh, here's a fun Japanese word for everybody. Pawn. Pan. That's bread in Japanese.
Yeah, she used to eat the loaves of bread.
Or plot twist, she's pregnant.
Oh yeah, she's got some big mommy milkers going on now.
No wonder why Grimjow's hanging around.
But that is actually the first interaction that Ichigo has with all of them. So that happens prior to them taking off.
Okay.
So the one Arankar with the Seto, that's super long. Yeah, that doesn't happen. Like he doesn't name it like 20 million characters. He just blasts it off. So the Seto it's the Arankar that gets killed by Yumachika. And he's like, oh, I don't remember ugly people. And then he's got that super long Seto that he...
Oh, you're talking about the revived ones?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about like some small little guy. I'm like, oh, who the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, one of the revived ones. I'm drawing a blank on which one his actual name is. But it's that one. The beautiful one, as he likes to call himself.
The muscular, beautiful one, yeah.
Yes. Yuhaba is still within the cage while the Royal Guard are fighting, and the Ashwallen is how he breaks out of that cage. So the fight with Ichibei does not happen prior to.
Okay.
So, yeah, no, he uses the Ashwallen.
So it happens the same in the anime, in the manga, just Yuhaba is in different positions.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
He isn't getting beat up by Ichibei yet. He uses Ashwallen to break out of the forest prison. So Sternritter N, that's what his name is. The old dude knew what was happening prior to, and he knew that they were all deemed unworthy prior to the Ashwallen.
Is that the guy with the handgun?
Yes.
When Ichigo pops up and he just street caps him.
Yeah. And then misses, yes, from point blank range. Then the last thing is you do not see the fight between the Royal Guard and Squad Zero after Ashwallen. So after Ashwallen happens, they go immediately into the fight between Ichibei and Yuhaba. So it goes into that fight. And then
technically, if you want to get correct, it's Yua at that point.
Yeah.
Because he cut his name in half.
No, because it's still Yuhaba because the fight hadn't happened yet. So his name couldn't get cut in half yet.
No, his name got cut before the Ashwallen.
So in the manga, that doesn't happen. Ichibei's still sitting up, watching everything.
Okay, yeah, I guess, that's the big difference. Makes sense.
Glad it does. So, yes, that's the big difference is that you don't get to see all the awesome added fighting between the Squad Zero and Sternritter Royal Guard. Now, Does that happen in later on? I don't know. The spoiler part happens. At least I didn't didn't spoil later things.
To be honest, it's not that big of a spoiler.
No, it's
I
not.
don't think it's going to change that much of the story and how I think it. But
Yeah.
Fun note, listeners. Matt spoiled something super big on us. Don't worry, I'm going to cut it out, but
My
it's really
bad.
funny. So I'm going to leave this little...
just know we're
Nitpicking.
bullying them in the downtime.
It's such a big spoiler, but it's kind of funny.
But it's not. It really isn't. So yeah, that is manga mentions. That's all I got. It was every fight was elongated, but other than that, nothing super drastic. Minus the part where everybody complained because they didn't get to drastically focus on Orihime's tits.
Kind of like how we didn't get to focus in on...
Yeah, we miss out on Rukia's butt,
Rukia's
and now
butt
we miss
last
on
season.
Orihime's boobs. So
I swear to God, if they cut out Yoruichi's lightning, I'm going to be pissed.
naked lightning.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen the statues all
I've
over
seen the
Facebook.
pictures. I've seen the statues. If that gets cut out, it's officially one of my...
He's gonna be flipping
Worst.
tables.
I was already disappointed in this season.
Yeah.
The fact that you hype up Ichigo so much at the end of at the end of part 1 for him to get absolutely zero.
No, you can't say absolutely.
He doesn't get absolutely anything, but he literally does two Getsugas. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
That is literally it. Like, you see one new thing. That is it. And that's fucking boring. You can't hype someone up so much at the end of part 1 to literally make him irrelevant for the next part.
Yeah, I mean, okay, since we're here, let's just talk about this fight real quick. His new Getsuga it's interesting enough. He's like drawing in the air a little bit, and I'm gonna need you guys to just
So it's
explain
kind
all
of
this. Explain how it starts, how it ends, and if you just so happen to remember his full name now.
Getsuga Jisho.
It's
Jisho. Oh, that sounds
Jisho.
familiar.
Yeah, Jushiro. Jujisho. It's like Getsuga Jujisho.
Okay.
I think it's
Jujisho.
Yeah.
But it went from a sword slash to where it's almost like he's cutting into a dimension
Right.
with his sword.
Yeah.
Which, don't get me wrong, like, you first see Getsuga Tensho, which is his normal one, but he does it with ease, just a light graze, and then it just takes off. And then he uses both swords to do Getsuga Jujisho,
Mm-hmm.
Which makes
the cross,
Yep.
and it annihilates things. But that's fucking it. That's outside of his insane new, like, just personal strength.
Yes.
But there was nothing flashy. You left off on such a high driving thriller moment
Mm-hmm.
where Orihime's tits were a bigger walkaway with in relevance than Ichigo was, and it was very disappointing. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I was very excited to see it. It was cool. I was happy that I saw it. But yeah, just exactly like you said, it just wasn't enough.
Yeah, I wish there would have been. It could have been the same fight scene, but with him going a little harder. Because he made it known that they are weak compared to him. Just give us a little something. Give us a taste.
It's a tease.
It really is, man.
It has to be a tease because we know this is going to be a 4-parter. This is only part 2, so
It's
he
absolutely a tease.
Yeah.
You
I
can't.
know they're getting ready for the big fight, but unless you're going to make that big fight almost a whole season, you gotta give me more.
I mean,
I just
Crave it.
need more.
if this is going to be 4-part, I don't know how they're going to drag this into 4 parts.
So for anybody that is interested, so remember we are on chapter 609, correct?
That's the end. Correct.
Out of 687.
There's no way they're getting 2 more. Well, if they guarantee that it's 4 parts, they are going to drag the shit out of it.
Well, that's
Considering
40.
there's
It's going to be easy with fight scenes, and this is a shonen, so it's
especially
easy.
with how much they added just in this one part that wasn't in the manga. So I can see them dragging it out, but they're gonna have to go in depth with that final fight.
You're talking 40 chapters per 12 episodes, 12, 13 episodes, which is pretty common,
Right.
to be completely honest. Like, that's not...
At least in the
yeah.
shonen
So
category.
it's... Yes, they've already talked about how they're going to add fights, which we've gotten one. We got the Shinji one. But other than that, like, we had the little bit of conversation between Ichibei and Yuhaba. But other than that, I don't... In all actuality, that's the only difference, like major differences besides the end fight between the Royal Guard. But again, that could happen later in the manga, and they just kind of swapped around certain aspects of what happened in the
I can
fight.
see that happening probably at the very beginning
Yep.
of the manga coming up.
Potentially. So it's that I'm not going to read too much into, but her, oh man. So it's not, it'll be on par with most shonen seasons with 40 chapters.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not too concerned. Well, we know Tyler. He was slightly disappointed. You were disappointed purely for the fact that you wanted more Ichigo, correct?
I'm more, like, don't get me wrong, it was good.
Okay.
Because my favorite character, I'm pretty sure we'll get into that, I'll just say it now, is Kenpachi. And
Okay.
the fact that when you see Kenpachi's finally coming back from killing Unohana, which is between season or part 1 and part 2, you feel like there's been a lot more time than that.
Yep.
No, he is just coming back from that cave.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And you finally get to see Kenpachi's Shikai.
Just as Shikai.
Just his Shikai. That's not even his Bankai, and he is killing the toughest Sternritter.
Yep.
The man survived space. Space!
Mm-hmm.
How much? I don't, just
Space.
pure powerfulness.
Yep.
He survived space and killed somebody who can use imagination as fighting. Insane. But outside of Kenpachi, it was disappointing not being able to see more of what they ended with on in part 1.
Okay. Understandable. What about you, Lance?
We talking about favorite characters?
Nope. Just what did you think of Core 2?
Oh, Core 2. I did feel that Core 2 in an interest level took a slight step backwards to Core 1.
Okay.
Maybe that's because I had more expectations. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe that's just as someone who's watched a lot of anime and just kind of expects stuff. But I did kind of feel like some stuff was dragged on a little bit. Some of the fights were forced. I can't really defend how I feel about that. Like, it just felt like there was so much going on. There's plenty of other anime that have highs and lows.
Yep.
And this one was just so consistently, I don't want to say high, but it was so consistently fight after fight after fight. Like,
Yep.
it almost felt like you just get dull. You just feel less about it because of it. Like, that's what you want, but like when it's too much, then it's what you don't want. So even though I'm saying that, I did appreciate so much out of this. Every fight is worthy of a conversation.
Okay.
I don't know. I enjoyed it.
Okay.
It was good. I liked it, and I'm glad I watched it. So
We
I
also
don't know.
Like, I'm not saying I'm not glad I didn't watch it. I am glad I watched it. It's just, I wish the hype had ended. It came back with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it maybe show a little bit more of Ichigo's training with the sword. That would have been nice. Like, kind of show his progression with the Getsuga. That would have been nice. At least build into him a little bit more than him walking through a field for 7 episodes.
you actually never see him actually training.
No. It was the only thing you ever saw him was him talking with Ichibe and then him walking through the final test.
Well, I meant in the entire series. The only time you see him doing any sort of training is during his Bankai.
Sure. Yeah.
To
Everything's always a time
reforge
jump.
his sword, yeah. He had to find his true self.
No.
You got to see him train, trying to find his true self, because he had to actually go through.
Oh, yeah, he had to fight
and
himself.
He had to fight himself, and he had to go back home and find his true self and his true meaning and learn who he was. At the end of the day, that was a test.
Yeah, but I wouldn't call that.
It's not a test of strength. It was a test of mentality and who he
Yeah,
was.
I guess what Matt's trying to get is technique training.
I get that, but
Yeah.
like, there, I get what he means.
It's just the power of time skips. So,
Yes. And
Matt, what are you thinking?
so one thing I will say is this was much better as a single, like a weekly watch versus a binge watch,
Yeah, I can agree with that.
because you kind of got to stew on every fight versus one fight after another one after another one after another one.
Yeah, like every episode was a new fight. Like, it's
Yes.
as soon as one ended, boom, you're in another and it's starting again.
Oh yeah,
Like,
here's this important person that needs to be in a fight.
yeah.
And while that is really cool, if you binge it, it can get a little dull.
There was so much going on that it becomes a blur if I didn't take a note on it.
Yes.
Because it all, like you said, it mushes together.
Yep. And
Like,
while
I'm trying to remember which fight came when, who was fighting who, because at one point there's 13 people fighting one person, and
Yeah, I mean, I've seen this twice now, and my linear path is so messed up. I can't tell you what about what. All I know is that there was the ground fights and there was the Squad Zero fights.
and while there were some truly, to me, iconic moments, I can completely understand when somebody binges this, that it's like, it was fine. As a season, it was fine. Just because it's, like you guys are saying, it's so easy to get just kind of confused or caught up in all of the fights and everything that's going on. Because this whole season was essentially it's a war, so a war arc. And all the captains, deserve to have kind of their moment. And you also get the point with Toshiro, who turns into a zombie, so that's super important. And then you get to see how fucked up, Mayuri,
yeah.
kind of how fucked up he is, which I thought that was a really cool part. And so all these people kind of needed their moment, and we got it. So
definitely, yeah.
That was something I really enjoyed. But everybody's most important question is favorite characters. Tyler, you basically already said yours. Is it definitely Kenpachi?
100% Kenpachi. Just being able to finally see his progression and how strong he is, and if you're here, you've watched the original Bleach, he's still got his eye patch on and he's escaping space. Like, he's still got his power sealed to a point right now.
Yeah, good point.
And he was taking on somebody who can fight with his imagination.
Yes, and his Shikai is just insane, because if you remember, the Shikai is supposed to be a representation of your power, and that thing is fucking massive.
It cut through space. Like, I'll never not be baffled at that. The dude literally locked him in the vacuum of space. He busts open it with dry eyes and is like, haha, fuck you. It just slices him in half.
I will say my favorite fight was the Kenpachi fight.
Okay.
Not necessarily for Kenpachi, but because I really liked that Stern.
Grammy is a very interesting, and that was probably my favorite fight.
Okay.
Just because of how unique his ability is.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, just
because everywhere else, like, you see lightning, you see fire, you see earth stuff. Dude just thought he was stronger than Kenpachi and killed himself because his body couldn't handle the change.
Yeah, he couldn't handle it.
Like, it just, the fact that somebody can think something and it becomes true is insane. Like, when he made
made his own letters.
No.
When he made Yachiru's bones turn to fucking cookies. She went to set her hand down and just shattered everything.
Yep, that was so funny.
Like, and then Kenpachi's like, what's a cookie?
Why did she just say that? I don't know, because normal people know what cookies are, okay?
But mine's hands down.
Real quick, I wonder. I know my answer, but if he thought Kenpachi's bones are made of cookie, would that affect Kenpachi's body? Because Kenpachi doesn't know what cookies are, or is it only going to be the other guy's mind because his mind is all that matters?
I think it's because he gets into the mind of the person, and if he doesn't know what it is, it can't alter it.
Okay, so you're going with the opposite of what I think.
That's kind of what I'm thinking, because when her bones turn back to normal, it says you can only mess with one person's mind at a time.
Yep. Okay.
And
very interesting.
That's kind of what I'm thinking is the reason behind why it's either that or Grammy was just so focused on when Kenpachi said in order to be the strongest, you have to beat the strongest. Mm-hmm. And Grammy's never wanted to kill anybody before in his life.
Right.
Until that fight.
Yep.
So he was just so determined that he wanted to fight him with all the strength and not just go, cookies. Like, I feel like it's one of those reasons.
I do think if you're going to alter somebody, they need to know what they're getting changed into. So that's part of it.
Well, true. But if my power was to turn your bones into jelly,
and
that's my power. Like, if that's the cutoff, my interpretation of my imagination shouldn't be factored into what you believe.
But if you don't understand what it is, you can't get manipulated into believing that it's true.
That's the difference between magic and science, basically.
Okay, so back to what you fucking spoiled. that explains why Grammy knows what fucking cookies are, is because Yuabaha's human.
Well, all the Stern Ritters are human.
I didn't fucking know that. I mean, I guess I should have because, Quincy's were done on Earth.
Yes. So you should have known that.
Wait, none of...
You can't... So that spoils things. But
okay,
anyway.
so now
that's why I kind of made a pause so I could talk about it, because that's why Grammy knew what cookies were. But then again, it comes down to how does Yachiru know what cookies are? So I have a feeling then it maybe doesn't fuck with the mind, because he can... I have a feeling he can go, cookies are brittle, I can break it with a simple ease. Now that's what your bones are, and it just turns them extremely brittle.
But it is Kenpachi, so if it's not fighting, he has no fucking idea what it is.
That's what I'm thinking too. He's so single-minded, it doesn't matter anyway.
Right, where it's like, hey, do you want some desserts? What the fuck are desserts? No. Do I get to kill them? No. All right, well then no, I don't want them.
He's probably living a life on like chicken and rice and blood, so he doesn't know much different.
I get my iron intake from your iron.
Back to the human conversation.
Yes.
So back when you were saying there is no more Quincy's.
Okay. Well, I didn't say that, but yes.
Well,
they talk about it in the anime, yes.
Yeah, if you go back to the first episode when Yuabaha announces that Uryu is his successor, he is announced as the last surviving Quincy.
Right. So that's basically what I was gonna say. So every one of his creations, everyone else that we're seeing, are those humans? They're like reflections.
I have a feeling they're normal humans that are Quincy by blessing of his power.
So they were the individuals within the Soul Society. So that means they have to be souls.
Okay, so there's souls that went to Soul Society and there's souls that went to Quincy's?
So they were all Quincy's to begin with. They were all Quincy's. Okay. But then they went to the Sternritter section of the Soul Society and hid in that section.
Okay, and then his power just gave him form? Is that essentially what's going on?
It gave them true power.
Yeah. And then
it gave them their abilities, because if you look at it, Uryu is 100% Quincy, but he doesn't have those specialty powers that everyone else has. He just has Quincy powers with his bows.
Well,
in the basic Quincy powers. He doesn't have like...
He does.
I mean, I don't fucking know that yet.
I guess this is something they talk about in the manga that I forgot, that I didn't mention because they don't...
You're better at your mentions.
Yes. So the fact that he took in Yuhaba's blood is the reason why all the Sternritters have their abilities. So Uryu has an ability.
Well, now he does. I was talking about beforehand.
Okay, yes.
He didn't have abilities until he drank his blood, because he is now Sternritter A. He is the successor. He gets Yuaba's A.
So there's a difference between Quincy powers and Yuaba's.
So every Sternritter gets an individual letter, so he won't have A.
He does have A.
He was given A.
Yeah, right here. I even have it marked down because he literally said that your iteration will be A, because he is his successor. Yuabaha is A for Alpha or whatever it is.
Almighty.
He's almighty. But he did say you will be A.
Okay. I missed that part. So yes.
I know he said it because I took a note on it. I don't write it unless they say it, so I know I'm not going crazy. But yeah, before he drank his blood, he just had like the normal bows.
He was the last surviving Quincy.
Exactly. Yes. So I have a feeling like they were just regular Quincy's. They didn't get their powers until Yuabaha blessed them with it with his blood.
Yeah. And then just like the souls that go to the Soul Society, they have their form. And then instead of going to the Soul Society, they went to the Wandenreich, I think is what it's called, which is the Sternritter's home.
Okay. Sorry, I guess I just confused myself a little bit earlier, because every time I think of the traditional soul, I'm thinking of like this white orb.
Yes.
And then, but no, when they go to the Soul Society, it is treated as like what your traditional heaven is. Like you are your human form.
Yes.
Okay.
Just the soul version.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. That makes a little bit more sense then.
Cool. Your favorite character, because that's what we were talking about.
Yeah, so this one's kind of hard because we were talking about so much shit just gets meshed together, but much different compared to Cour 1 and Cour 2. I have really, really, really come to appreciate Oetsu, from the Zero Guard.
And you want to remind people what his power is?
Oetsu is the one that creates all the Zanpakutos.
Okay.
Okay, so here's a big difference between the Japanese sub and the English dub. is it was really fun watching him in Japanese because half the shit he said was in English already. So he's a very interesting and energetic character. So he was really fun.
Yes.
And you didn't really get that difference. He was just energetic in English. So it was whatever. But his energy and his sword that was sitting in that jelly really brought out some power. And I don't know. I just like his attitude about stuff.
Okay.
He's got my interest really hard.
Okay.
So I really like him a lot. I don't know really to go from there. He handled his battle with the sniper dude pretty good.
Until the end.
Until the end. He also had that moment with the sniper dude where he jumped up in the air and he put Yuhaba in the background so that if a traditional bullet were to go through him, it would go through him and through Yuhaba. And I thought, dude, that's super genius. But of course, we learned a little bit more about the sniper guy, and that didn't work.
Yep.
So, I mean, just to bring things into focus, this doesn't need to be talked about in the future, but that sniper guy, he made a very specific comment that with his X-axis kind of thing, nothing between him and his target
can get blocked.
But the target stops at the target. Nothing goes beyond it. So
yep.
Yuhaba was never in danger to begin with. So that was fucking crazy too. So it was super smart on Oetsu, but it didn't matter anyway. So it sucked. Which brings me to another thing that I wanted to talk about. This entire cour made me think like, I'm going to show you my power. Oh, yeah, well, I'm going to show you my power. Like, oh, yeah, well, I never even showed you my true power. I nenever showed you my true power.
It was basically a giant whose dick is bigger.
Yeah.
That's what it boiled down to.
It just felt like that. And I can't like pinpoint that at everything, but that's just how I felt the entire time. So,
yep.
Anyway, yeah, Oetsu. I liked him. He was a lot of fun. I can't wait to see more out of him. I don't know if we're actually going to see more out of him because he kind of sacrificed himself for the needle lady.
You also have to remember that she's healed all his wounds before.
That's a good point.
And you got to remember, Byakuya was extremely close to death. Like, he had almost no pulse, but sat in...
But that was Tenjiru's.
Yeah, that was Tenjiru's.
True,
that was his blood.
But his fountains are still there, regardless if he's there or not.
True, but we're in the midst of a battle, and they specifically said that they had to sacrifice, like, 4 bodies for one person to unlock their Bankai because each individual Bankai can destroy all the worlds or something.
Yep.
Yeah, so, they have to have a way to bring them back. Otherwise, that is the worst,
most anticlimactic
version of seppuku I've ever seen.
Exactly. I'm just saying it's super strange to have 4, excluding Ichibei, 4 super strong people from Squad 0, and only one of them can have a Bankai that we can see. Because, like, I would like to see them kind of, like, rotate their Bankais, because I would love to see all of them. But at this moment, it sounded like it was a straight-up sacrifice so that one of them can use Bankai. And that's where I'm left at this moment.
And that's because all of them have their own seal on them and need to sacrifice themselves to release their segment of the seal.
Right.
And Ichibei is too old, so it doesn't matter.
Fucking Ichibei don't need no Bankai.
Yeah, he's the original.
He's literally keeping up with Yuabaha using his fucking basic ass sword. His Zanpakuto. He doesn't need to do anything.
Yeah, he's super crazy.
That's just showing why he's a special threat.
Yeah.
What about you, Matt? What do you got coming for a favorite character?
So my favorite character is going to be my favorite moment, and it's going to be Rukia.
Sure.
Because her Bankai, like, I legitimately got chills when I saw her Bankai.
Is it because the cold from her Bankai came through your TV and not
emitting,
you? Or?
Yes. It froze me solid. No, it was just because... So the manga does the exact same thing in where it's essentially an entire page of just her as her Bankai there. And that's the end of the chapter.
Oh, they gave one solid big-ass picture?
Yes.
Oh, that's kind of cool. That's almost like putting a mini poster into the manga.
And so the fact that you get to see her Bankai just come into color and in anime form, because, again, I read this in 2017. So the first time I saw it was 6 years ago. And so finally being able to get to see her Bankai come to a TV, I was just like, oh, it's so beautiful.
Did you have your tissues? Not for crying, for the lotion.
Not for crying.
No, it's because it would freeze, so can't have that happen.
That's that 4D TV. You get to feel whatever is on the TV emanating through.
So yes, just seeing that Bankai and seeing Rukia, because she is now not useless.
Right.
And seeing her progression from the beginning of the series to finally getting Byakuya to acknowledge her strength and just seeing everything culminate together was just fantastic and probably my favorite moment of the season.
Yeah, I would agree. That's a solid moment. It's kind of hard to top much bigger than that. I mean, obviously, you're going to think of Kenpachi, but Rukia was definitely a big takeaway for me as well.
And it was a big takeaway. And the fact that her Bankai can kill herself, and she almost did.
Yep.
She was close, but Byakuya had to explain to her how to not hurt herself while trying to come out of it. Mm-hmm. Because her body's at absolute zero.
Yep. It's negative 146 degrees.
It is negative 273.15 degrees Celsius.
Oh, there we go. Yes, that one.
Mm-hmm. I got everything. Negative 18, it does this. Negative 50 does this. Took my notes.
If any anime deserved notes, it was fucking this one, because there's so much information going on.
But so it was so beautiful to see.
Yep.
And now you know why I have the sword, and I got to get a figure of that because it's just so well done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wouldn't blame you in the least, because you have two fucking amazing Ichigo figures over here. It definitely needs a Rukia to match some of it.
Yes. So Tyler, we know about Kenpachi. Lance, what about you? Your favorite scene or moments?
I kind of want to, like I was trying to get back at earlier with my favorite fight being the Kenpachi fight, not because of Kenpachi, but because of Gremmy. And that's because I loved Gremmy's ability. It's just imagination. To me, imagination seems so insanely OP. And to think that
Mr.
OP,
Book Writer.
Yeah. And to think that OP can be even more OP'd by Kenpachi is just so crazy. So my favorite moment, man, it's just so strange. My favorite moment just matches my favorite power, and that's just going to be imagination.
I could easily say I think everybody's second favorite was Shinji's Bankai.
Oh, God, yeah.
100%.
So fantastic.
You didn't get to see a lot of it.
Yes.
It was very simple, very quick. It was not long.
But just the fact that it was
the
banned.
powers, it's banned for good reason, because if you have an ally around you, you become now a threat and you will be attacked.
Yep. And for all of our listeners, describe who Shinji is and what his Bankai was.
So Shinji is a Vizard who was expelled from the Soul Society and was a captain beforehand, but fell victim to Aizen's testing.
Yep.
And then now he is back as a captain, but we've never seen his Bankai. We've seen his Shikai, which inverts everything. Left is right, right is left, up is down, down is up. Now his Bankai not only can do the same, but turns allies into enemies. And you just watch all the Stern Ritters. I wouldn't say they were Stern Ritters, because they were just pawns. They were just like low mercenaries, just kill each other. Because they saw each other as enemies. And he didn't even do anything besides swing his sword around his finger.
Yep.
It made it simple.
Yeah, his sword is so cool.
It's like a damn key.
Yeah.
Shinji was a lot of fun to watch. And because of the way he is created, animated, he's got the fucking weird bangs. He's got a long ass
smile.
Big long ass smile. And it's like, he just looks like a weird character, but dude's so fucking strong.
So, favorite Bankai. Is that going to be your guys' favorite Bankai then? Mine's obviously pretty simple. So just from Core 2.
Yeah, Rukia. It's hard to beat Rukia. Shinji, yeah, he's fucking amazing. Rukia is absolute zero. I do love that.
So Rojiru, who is the conductor, you got to see his. You got to see Soifon's Bankai.
To me, Soifon's Bankai is so boring. It's a rocket launcher.
Yeah, she just got a bigger version of her pistol.
Her Shikai was better.
Yes, absolutely. You got to see Kensai, who is the explosion punch, you could call it.
Oh yeah, I thought he was really cool.
His was pretty unique. I liked it. It's basic. It just keeps implying the force as long as your fist is still touching them.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, I guess I didn't care too much. That's interesting.
It's
but like, what are you going to do? Like, hold them
All you have to do is literally hold them and it's going to keep doing the impact. It's cool, but it's basic.
Yeah.
Yep.
I liked
I don't know
the
if you're going to keep
look of
reviewing,
it.
but I want to.
I've got one more. Shenjumaru is the last Bankai that we get to see.
Senjumaru is 100% my favorite Bankai in that entire episode.
Wait, which one's Senji?
She was the Weaver.
Weaver.
Up
Yeah.
in the Soul
Oh,
Palace.
yeah. Then the final
Her
episodes.
Bankai, the fact that the instant she started it, Earth started shaking.
Yep, that was so cool.
Like, because it just goes to show why they have seals on all of them. Because if all of them were to have their full power like that at one time, it would destroy the living world.
Yep.
And the fact that her Bankai was so effortless to kill 5 full powered Stern Ritters,
Yep.
kill.
Yeah, I don't believe they're.
I don't believe they're dead, because I know as much as this season made, or this part made Uryu an enemy, I don't think he is.
Okay.
I do not think he is there for that reason. I feel like he is there to still help out Ichigo and just get close. I feel like that is the whole reason. So I can't see it being fully lethal due to that reason.
So he's a double agent.
In a way, yes. That's my theory.
Okay.
Okay. Well, there's still one Bankai we missed out on.
Toshiro's.
Yeah, but we've seen it, but it's still the same.
Oh, we did. We
haven't seen Big Boy Toshiro yet.
Yeah, that's true.
That's gonna be when he comes up as more important.
Okay, sorry. There's
There's 2 more.
Even after Toshiro, there's 2 more that we
Yes.
still missed out on.
Renji's.
Yep.
And then,
Fucking
So
Renji's.
before we get to the next one, let's talk about Renji for a quick second.
yes. Okay.
The fact that his original Bankai was a half-assed Bankai because his sword deemed him not strong enough to be able to know his full name.
Yeah, I thought that whole concept, I fucking love that concept.
Yep.
The fact that it wasn't because he didn't think he was strong enough, somebody else didn't think, his sword deemed him not strong enough to be able to know its full name.
You are not worthy.
And it was just insane.
Yep.
Now, what do you guys think about the design of it? For one, I'm not completely sold on the whole design idea. The snake, I love the snake, but they're like that little monkey arm thing that's coming off. I think I need a description on that one. I'm not sold on that idea. It looks weird to me.
It's almost as it's an extension of his own arm, because there's a point near the end of, before it goes up to the Soul Palace, that he holds his arm up and the arm does the exact same. It's almost like an extension of his body that's not a part of his body.
Okay.
So I feel like it has its purposes. It's just not as important as the sword that we know of yet, because we've only got to see that one fight with
Superstar.
Masculine.
Yeah, I need to see another fight with Renji. I need him to be a little bit more redeemed. I mean, that you can say that about everybody. I mean, obviously we need to see another fight with Rukia, and I want to see another fight with Renji and Byakuya for that matter. I mean, he's also back from the dead, so I need to see him go at it.
I guess technically there's 2 more Bankais.
And even though we never got to wait, we did get to see, again, the whole episode's mushing together. We got to see his Senbon Sakura.
Yep. We saw
Kaiyoshi at the very end.
We saw both his Shikai and his Bankai.
Just like his Bankai is his Bankai. I didn't really notice a big drastic change with it.
Not too much.
But his Shikai,
Yep.
that's a big change, because I remember before it used to only be able to circle him and he had a bubble around him that it could not enter. He has a lot more control over it now.
Yep. Yeah, I think it'll be a drastic difference, because he didn't need to go full out with his Bankai to beat Asnoid. So
He didn't even use his Bankai.
I believe he does.
Nope. Because he's like, oh, you have your Bankai out or whatever. And he goes, no. He's like, take a closer look. And he's still holding his sword in his hand. It's just his Shikai. Because after he says that's when Rukia takes over to kill him.
That's right. So we don't see his Bankai.
You see his Bankai after they all jump in to stop all 8 from attacking Ichigo, to let Ichigo get out. I think that's when you see his Bankai.
And I think it was more just the fact that he needed more area.
He needed more area of range to cover.
Yep. So it wasn't him going all out with
it. was just him getting the reach that he needed.
Yeah.
Which leaves us to the last Bankai.
Yes.
Komamura.
Yes.
Sajin Komamura, the puppy.
Yes.
So
or as in the words of Bambi, doggy.
Oh, it's doggy. Damn it. I said puppy because I was trying to quote Bambi, mess it up. But yeah, doggy. So his whole deal was he had to go back to his father, give him his heart, and turn into a werewolf?
Yeah.
He turned into their human form, which was stronger, had more power, and made him immortal.
Right.
Temporarily until it gave out.
So was the immortality because he was already dead?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just making sure that I didn't miss something where I was like, oh no, we're actually immortal, but then we get banished, so then now we're not immortal kind of thing. Okay, yeah.
That's why he can take blows to the chest, holes, because he's empty inside.
That's why he was able to survive all of Bambietta's bombs hitting his Bankai. Because she's like, oh, well, whatever it takes, you take. And that's when he's like, well, in this form, I'm immortal. You cannot kill me. And he literally just stood there taking it all.
Yeah. Which was super cool. I like the idea. It's just taking a fucking mech to the next level, to a more evilish, like medieval looking deal. He looked cool. I liked it. But I'm still gonna stand my ground on what I said last time. It's just creating monsters or creating big versions of things to fight for you. I'm not all about that, but I do give him a little bit of grace with that. This was a lot cooler.
Yep.
And the fact that you got to see it without its armor, and it went into depth explaining the importance of the armor. Yep. The armor was his life. And I think that's what killed Sajin faster, was it not having that, but he understood what he needed to do in that time, and he was not going to be able to do it without stripping the armor.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because, don't get me wrong, if it wasn't Sajin being immortal, Bambietta would have tore through a lot of people.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Because nobody understood her bombs. Because they're not bombs. Yep. They're reishi energy that turns whatever they hit into bombs.
Mm-hmm. Well, Yumachika understood, but he had no way to actually go against it. So one fight I really do want to talk about is the Mayuri and Toshiro fight.
Love the Mayuri Toshiro fight. It is 100% Groundhog Day kind of deal going on.
Yep.
So I really appreciated that I could connect those kind of dots, but also just love the idea that he's just using science to fuck with someone so fucking powerful such as Toshiro, even after he's come back and remastered a supposed Bankai. And also Toshiro's a zombie, so he's throwing me off too, and he's also conscious. So
is he going to be coming back?
That's what I'm thinking.
I have a feeling Mayuri's going to have a way to coming back, because
he took control of them all over again.
Yep.
He took control over him, which I have no clue how he's done it, again, with episodes mushing together.
He was saying that he has blood samples of everybody in society, that. So he was able to counteract the zombie
blood
slash counteract Giselle's blood manipulation with his own manipulation.
Right. So he has more control over Bambi has. Wait, no, that wasn't Bambi. That was
Giselle.
Giselle, yeah. So he's just more powerful. Anyway, loved it. I loved that the whole thing. Every time Toshiro thought he killed Mayuri, he just bounced back a minute, back to the beginning of the fight. And it was going to go... Actually, this thing could not go that long because, there was a time limit before... the mind could break or something like that.
No, he told him he could go until he kills him. So as long as he never killed Mayuri, it would indefinite.
There was a limit. There was after X amount of times of doing this, your mind would give out.
Well, you're talking about the side effect of the drug, where every so often, however many times he goes back, he'll have the side effect of being paralyzed.
Yeah, there was the paralyzing effect.
Yeah. Did the note taker... I don't think he said how many times it was. I think he just said it was a side effect.
That's the one section I lost my notes on.
I'm pretty sure there was a limit. I remember...
Yes, there was a limit, but I don't think it was time related. I think it was just...
no, time didn't matter. Yeah, it was every time that he would revert back to T1.
So I really enjoyed that fight. No idea why Toshiro could start talking.
Right. Because Kensei, the one... who can Bankai into the transformed fist, the exploding fist. He was also a zombie, but he couldn't talk, right?
Yeah, along with the other one, Rojiro, the conductor. He could not speak either.
Right.
Yeah, honestly, I laughed when they died. I was like, oh, well, that was anticlimactic. All right, cool. Because they had 30... You want to talk about screen time and Ichigo not having screen time? You get two captains you've never seen fight before, and they die within 30 seconds.
Yeah, that's a pretty good point.
So
these guys are supposed to be super powerful.
They did have a whole fight segment against the person, and they both released their bankais, they had more screen time than Ichigo.
I would say it's pretty much on par. Because Ichigo had his conversation with...
They were still more thrilling. They actually did things. Okay, speaking of that fight, fucking James is annoying. Okay. He was annoying.
Yes.
You go, superstar!
I hated that fight so much.
Like, it was just, and then why is it when he powers up, he strips down and has fucking heart or star nipples and is in a man speedo? Like, we could have did without the image.
He just went full WWE.
For real.
Yeah.
Join the, Jesus. And then he kills James. God, that was the best moment of the show.
Yes, it was.
Is that coming towards us?
You just love to hate that fight. So maybe that's why it was a good fight, because it's so fucking memorable in that sense.
Yep.
Also, I guess we can talk about the love guy too.
Pepe
was so weird.
I love to hate him too.
Everybody, even the Stern Ritters hated Pepe.
Yeah, right?
What happened to you, Pepe? Oh, gross.
Sorry for you. Oh, yeah, but yeah, just those two fights, you just love to hate them. So I suppose one guy we haven't talked about, Baz B, fingertip fire guy. I like him a lot. He's got this, he got that mohawk going for him. Chicken boy, yep.
Oh, rooster.
He's got like, I don't want to say like post-apocalyptic. That's not the, but like he looked very cyberpunky, and I kind of like that kind of look. It's just a fun look for me, because like future rebel kind of deal.
Okay.
Baz B's interesting. I don't know. That's about it. Do you guys have thoughts on Baz B?
I kind of wish we saw a little more of him, because
all your favorite characters we didn't get enough of.
I know, you got to see the fight with Toshiro where he used
two
finger
fingers.
1 and 2 finger.
Yep.
And then I think it was against Ichigo, yeah, because he went to use 4 finger, and that's when we got to see Ichigo's new Getsuga. Is when we got to see that was when Baz used 4 fingers. Outside of that, he's a hothead with fire. That's kind of all we got to see on him, and I wish we could have seen a little more on him. It would have been pretty cool, because he was like the one standout Stern Ritter.
Yep.
Because he's always been the loudmouth the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you mean the zombie chick didn't stand out? I was watching those episodes, and my wife's like, "What the fuck is going on right now?" I'm like, "It's Bleach. Don't worry about it." She's like, "Alrighty then."
Yeah, Giselle's fascination with Bambi was super creepy.
Yep. Yeah, because
funny. I found it a little funny, especially when she's like, when Bambi's dead under that little rock cave. She's like, "Oh, you look so cute when you're dead." And like, that's creepy.
But she does love zombies. So.
Yeah.
And just eating her, and it's just like, what's going on right now?
Yeah.
It's kind of sus. If you watch that episode, don't let your wife walk in.
Well, that was the episode I was watching, and she's like listening to it, and she's like, "What the fuck are you watching?"
Yeah, you look over and you see slurping, and it's a chick's head in between another chick's legs.
Yeah.
Just like, yeah, don't ask questions. It's okay. It's for the best.
Yeah. There's a couple.
My favorite moment though with Baz B is when he literally hopped in and shot at all the Bambis just to have a shot at Ichigo. Like, he literally is like, "Fuck you, he's mine." It was fantastic. The fact that, though, tying back towards that Ichigo fight, he had 1v8 and still didn't need a breakout move. Again, annoying. But that shows how strong he's gotten by training up in the Soul Palace. Mm-hmm. You took on 1v8, and these are Stern Ritter's other captains were struggling with.
Yep.
And he took on 8 of them.
And he wasn't trying.
No, he wasn't at all. Half the time, he didn't even use his swords. He didn't use his Zanpakuto at all.
Yep.
He literally just beat them with their fists. The fact that he literally took, what was her name? Was that Candace, the lightning one?
I think so.
Yeah, it was Candace. The fact that he literally just takes Candace and just starts whipping her through buildings was fantastic. And she's just getting more and more mad. And he's like, "Peasant, just get out of here." Like,
do you know how long it takes me to do my hair?
I have to get up hours before that.
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Oh, that's what you're mad about." But it does suck to see. I get it. Why Kenpachi got not necessarily defeated, but he did by getting taken out of the fights. by Candace because of the wear that the space had on him.
Yeah, he
was
fought the vacuum of space.
He fought the vacuum of space and then got fucked up by a lightning bolt. Like, he got ambushed, and that's when we see Ichigo come in. And it's like Kenpachi said, I never thought I'd ever have you saving me.
That was kind of a fun scene for him to throw out there because it goes back to the beginning, like they show. It's like, yeah, this never wanted your help, but we need your help. And so it was full circle kind of thing.
But I feel like now is probably a good time to take a break.
Hey Toasties, I'm Missy, here with my bestie Johnsy.
Hey y'all.
Do you like mind-blowing crime cases, spooky tales, and debating theories?
Well, what a coinky-dink, so do we. Grab your beverage and be a part of our Toasted Shenanigans on your favorite podcast app.
You can even send us a story or drink suggestion. Hit us up on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, or at toastedshenanigans.com.
And now that we're back from our break, before we get into talking about the Soul Palace and everything that happened up there, if you had the ability to pick your Sternritter power, which one would you guys pick? Lance, you want to start us?
Yeah, sure. So I'm going to choose Gremmy.
Okay.
V for Visionary. And that's just because, like I was saying earlier, I really love and think that his power is just so OP. Someone who has an imagination can really go literally anywhere with it. So I think that is just so amazing. So I know I can go far with it. It'll be so much fun. I do have a second one. And just because I know none of you are going to pick it, Asnoid, Fear, okay. Going back to Lance's lessons. Fear, he's so creepy awesome, and the power of Fear is just, that's what it is powerful. If you can control someone's fear and stun them, make them do nothing, you can basically win all the time. Just get a little bit of fear. And I guess this kind of goes back into my whole fight with I'm strong, I was holding back. I'm like, oh yeah, I was holding back. This Asnoid fight versus Rukia, that's basically exactly how that all went. Is someone was stronger and they just kept topping each other off, and that was interesting fight. So his ability just in general is pretty fun.
Okay, yeah.
What about you, Matt? Whose power would you like to have?
So I'm gonna pick Hashwalth, who is basically Yuhaba's right hand man. He is Sternritter B. I believe it is balance. But really, the only time you truly got to see him use his Sternritter ability is when he decapitated Sternritter I. And I just think his ability is the most intriguing to me. That isn't like Yuhaba, who's basically a cheat code.
Yeah, he is a cheat code.
So right. Tyler, what about you?
So mine's going to kind of lead into the Soul Palace fights. Mine is Askin,
okay,
who is Sternritter D for
Dick,
the Death Demon. The fact that he can control... Yeah, so Askin, his ability allows him to manipulate and calculate the lethal dose of substances he can take into his own body. And he can do that by, if he wants to, like in the fight up in the Soul Palace, for example, he was able to drink Oetsu's blood and therefore change the toxicity level of his blood to the exact point where it either his blood will kill him, or in order for his blood not to kill him, to kill himself from a lack of blood.
Exactly, yeah.
Yep.
The fact that he has the power to change the toxicity level of anything is insane. It's I mean, the need to consume it first is its downfall, but the fact that you leave it an option to either kill yourself or let yourself die is insane. Oetsu got lucky that they had a fucking bloodbath that could refill with bad blood.
Yep.
Or replace blood. It was a little bit on the shitty side for him, but outside of that, the power is pretty crazy. Same with X-Axis.
Yep.
That ability is just dumb.
Yeah, it's fucking no scoping anybody anywhere.
Give me that sniper ability.
thank you for leading us into the Soul Palace. Let's start talking about that, because we really, besides the little bit of conversation that we've had, we haven't talked too much about it. And that was what this entire season was brought for.
Yeah, so how do you want to start this? You want to talk about Squad Zero? You want to talk about the bad guys? Or
I guess since we've talked a little bit about Squad Zero, let's kind of continue that conversation, and then we can talk about the Stonerunners.
So the whole, kind of like going back to the beginning with the whole, this was planned by Ichibe.
Okay.
Just letting Ichigo enter back into the Soul Society the way that he did.
Yep.
It was, I feel like it was Ichibe's plan to get Yuabaha up there. He wanted him up there for that reason, because they were all there and ready.
True.
so you think Ichibe was...
He purposely wanted that fight up there.
Okay. Oh, so okay. I was about to say, then why would he let Ichigo go? But if he let Ichigo go, that would push them up.
He let Ichigo go to get through the barriers to open that up. Because if you remember, I'm pretty sure as Mayuri explained that it takes 6,000 seconds for the barriers to regenerate.
Yep.
Which gave Yuabaha time to get up there with his, as you said, like the Royal Guard.
Yep.
To get up there and make their assault, because their real target was the Royal Palace, not the Serite.
Right.
Yep.
And again, with the anime compared to the manga, where you get the little bit of a cutscene between Ichibe and Yuabaha 1,000 years prior.
Yep.
Leads into that fight.
Yeah, it ties everything together very well.
It touches base that this is not their first conflict.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that. I think if I was the manga reader, it would have felt like just blah. But
what do you mean?
I don't know. Like, he's going up there, but like maybe I wouldn't have felt more blah. But
it added more purpose to it.
The anime definitely made it more, like
more personal.
It wasn't. Nothing would have felt forced, and like, this works.
I don't think anything was forced, because Ichibe is the strongest of all of them. Yeah. So the fact that Yuhaba is the one that does fight with him isn't really an issue as a manga reader, because...
Yes, I suppose I was going to say, because his goal is to get to the Soul King, and to get to the Soul King, you have to get through Squad Zero, including Ichibe, so it was going to happen regardless.
Yep.
Fun fact, did you know that Yuabaha clarifies Ichigo stronger than Ichibe?
Did he do that in the anime?
Mm-hmm. Because in the anime, they said that is the reason why Ichigo is the number one special threat, and Ichibe is a special threat. Ichibe is one of the special threats. Right, and they mention in there that is why Ichigo is number one.
Interesting. Okay, I guess that kind of ties back Core 1.
It also could be, though, because the reason why Ichigo is because he is of Quincy power.
Yep.
So it's take it as you will. But I can see maybe Ichigo being stronger. You won't know because we haven't seen anything yet, but...
Well, and I didn't spoil anything.
Yeah, thank you. At least you didn't spoil that. Fucking prick.
But no, I mean, he's the main character of the series. Of course, we know he's going to be number one.
Yeah, he is a cheat code.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at least you get to see him work towards those cheat codes. Everyone else is just strong for no fucking reason.
Well, they've also been alive for thousands of years.
True.
Still no reason. Yes, Ichibe, I kind of get it. It helps tie in everything by having the conversation 1,000 years ago, because then when Yuhaba is like, Ichibe, yada, 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 and he's like, you still calling me that? It's like, oh, okay, that makes more sense, because he did that 1,000 years ago, and I basically kicked his ass 1,000 years ago for calling me that. So I get it.
I liked all of that. Ichibe, he's so interesting. You would never imagine that a paint stick could do so much damage, but if it has the power to, I wouldn't say erase, I would more say override. Because he's blacking out stuff, he's not erasing stuff.
See, but he's blacking it out over your memory, which basically erases it from your memory.
Right, so they're basically synonymous at that point.
Exactly, because it's like when he used his Shikai, but he doesn't call it his Shikai because he gave it that name.
Yep.
Right, yeah,
it became a Shikai, and he even said it in the anime that it's had this name well before Shikai was a thing.
Yeah, it's pre-Shikai.
And the fact that he couldn't even tell if it was a blade or paint. It was a blade that spread paint and made him forget what his sword was. Mm-hmm. Completely forgot what his sword was.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, you must have hit me with the paint because I don't fucking remember what his sword was. But
it's that whole saying where the pen is mightier than the sword.
Oh, yeah.
So just kind of play on that whole phrase.
That's very
And the
interesting.
fact that Ichibei is so strong and we haven't seen him technically fight. He was more so playing
Yeah, he was
kind of taunting. He wasn't really, it didn't really look like he was trying a whole lot.
It's like he was just throwing out a bunch of magic tricks at him. And he
Like,
was
yeah,
playing
like
with them.
when Yuabaha stole his power, he's like, I am the black, and then just painted him black. Like, I can't wait to see more of how strong the captain of Squad Zero is.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be fun.
It will, because we got a little bit of taste of everybody.
Yep.
The only real taste of power we got to see was Senjumaru.
Yep.
She was the only one that was able to do her Bankai because the others sacrificed themselves because of the power balance, because of the seal on them. And it makes you want more of what their potential is. And I'm excited to see what everyone else can do. Honestly, I can't even fathom what their Bankais could possibly even fucking be.
Not too much.
Like, I could see, like, Fune's like Bankai being like a world tree in a way.
I mean, she was throwing seeds around to grow.
So
shit.
it's definitely plant based, but you didn't really get to see a whole lot of everybody else. I mean,
Tenjiro, he was
Tenjiro-
throwing like these water balls around.
and you got to see his Zanpakuto glow bright.
Yep.
So it's like basic abilities, but you didn't get to see anybody Shikai at all besides Ichibei's.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Oetsu's nothing.
He didn't, because he didn't use his Shikai.
No,
He
was just
dipped
using-
his sword in gel. That is it. Like, this man used weapon enhancement drugs, and that was it.
No, the explanation for Oetsu's sword was that gel was the only way it could be sheathed.
Because of how sharp it is.
Yeah.
Yep. And because it was like, it didn't really sit in a true form kind of thing. Like it weaved.
I don't remember. The
It-
point was
it's definitely
it was
interesting.
too powerful.
We've seen how strong they are without having seen their power.
Yep.
Mhm.
And the fact that we got to see all the like the Royal Guards, Volster and Dish, and they still struggle against people who haven't even used their half their power yet.
Mhm.
Yep.
Like, they are under a seal and are still giving you a run. Don't get me wrong, they definitely struggled, and if it wasn't because of the balance that they had on each other, Oetsu would have been dead easily.
Oh yeah, definitely.
He actually died, I think, multiple times.
Twice.
At least twice.
Yep.
Because
he had the blood.
she patched him, and then he got the blood to clean out the bad blood.
Mhm.
Well, it didn't clean out the bad blood. It filled all the loss of blood
The
that he
loss
had.
of blood, more specifically.
Because the red water, which is blood water, refills. It was the white water that cleans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, other than that, he was shot.
So who the hell is the Stern Ritter in the cloak? I don't think it touched on him.
Um,
Man, just
Oh,
Kamui's space.
The one that can turn shit into gravity?
I think so. He just made shit disappear.
Like that little guy with the
Cloak,
like the
no
hand-
face. You just see eyes.
Yeah, and his wings were like these weird hands. I assume he just can
Manipulate.
pinpoint a point in space and like form gravity or a
It's
dark
like
hole.
black hole.
Like a black hole, yeah.
Kind of like Kamui from Naruto. That's kind of like how I'm like playing it, because he can just suck it in like a black hole. I have a feeling it's somewhere along that line.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we definitely haven't seen the rest of them, and even though Senjumaru supposedly took care of them, obviously they're not all taken care of, because we still have half of the story to go through, and we still have 3 other Bankais to see outside of Ichibei, and there's so much more to see yet.
Because if you were to go off of, it's over. 1,000-Year Blood War is done now. They won.
At this point, yeah.
You see
would think this-
Yuabaha slapped down to earth,
Mhm.
painted. He is now Black Ant, no name, no abilities, no nothing. Everybody else is dead. All the Stern Ritters down on earth, besides I think 2, are dead.
all Stern Ritters are gone.
I'm pretty sure 2 survived.
The
Giselle and Lil
Blondie?
Toto
So
were in
the-
the cave, and they didn't get sucked up at the end because they weren't getting hit by the light. They lost their abilities, but they didn't get their power drained, because you could see their Volster and Leech disappearing.
So the Ashwalt is the eliminating of life and recirculating it to the ones that are deemed worthy, and the ones that were deemed worthy were the Stern Ritters that went up to the Soul Palace.
Okay, because in the anime, I don't think you didn't see them actually die.
Yeah.
They weren't getting hit by the light because they were in the cave where Giselle was being a sadist over Bambi's body.
Yeah, so maybe at this point in the anime, they're not officially dead.
But theoretically, every Quincy is dead.
Yes.
Should be, yeah.
All of them that didn't go up are, yes.
No, everybody's dead.
Yeah.
Because the Bankai up top killed everybody but Yuabaha. Given we don't know if Yuabaha's dead, but he literally has nothing to himself no more and got slapped onto the earth with nothing to protect him.
Well, then the series would be over.
That's what I'm saying. If it ended today, that's why I'm saying with it only being halfway done, there's still something that's going to happen, and I'm interested to see what it is because with how it's looking, it ain't looking bright.
It's something.
Okay, since there's so much more shit to come out and stuff needs to happen, I want to speculate just a little bit.
Theorycraft.
Yeah, let's theorycraft. I know absolutely zero about the future, but since Yuhaba's got power over Quincy and Ichigo has Quincy in him, is he going to tap into stealing some of that or something?
I have a feeling, hear me out, because he can instill power into things with souls. And technically, skeletons have souls, but they don't have a human body. This is a long shot with this theory.
That's a long shot, bro. I don't know.
You would think that because they're living, they're walking, you could instill a soul into them.
At that rate, I mean, we can talk about, like, what's that anime called, Matt? Death March, Death Player?
Yeah.
Death March, Death Parade, or...
No, it's...
something Death Parade.
Yeah,
not
it's
Death Parade. Death Parade's a whole different anime.
I don't remember. I know which
I
one
watched the first 6 episodes.
Dead Mount Death Parade?
Dead Mount Death Play, I think it's called.
It's Dead Mount Death something. But I know what you're talking about. But like
Dead Mount Death Play, yeah.
Because he was able to put a soul into a skeleton.
A skeleton in a stuffed shark, into
so now
literally
hear me
anything.
Out. Yuabaha, we know how much power he is. He was able to get his name back even after it was cut in half.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a feeling he's going to be able to find a way to unbecome Black Ant.
Yeah, definitely. He has to.
We need to remember, I get it, all the Stern Ridders on Earth, or on the Soul Society and the Serite are dead. He doesn't have a power to reawaken them, but he has Yamamoto's Bankai, which, if you remember...
I forgot about that.
He has one that can bring skeletons of enemies he's defeated.
Ooh, I like that.
And he can turn them back in by distributing his power.
Oh, I like that a lot.
Like I said, it's a long shot theory craft, but he still has Yamamoto's Bankai that brings back the dead.
Okay, I like that. I like that so much that now I'm going to be mad if that's not the case.
Like, it's a good idea. You would just need to kind of work on the idea of how does he free himself from Ichibe. That is going to be like the big thing, but I feel like that's how he rebuilds his army again. Mm-hmm. Maybe. It's hard to say. Matt probably knows because he's read it.
Oh, yeah.
But...
because it doesn't...
close. You ain't gonna tell
Don't
me.
it?
You already ruined my night anyways.
Yeah, because that ruined anything.
I mean, I like spoilers. Even if I know it's coming, it's still going to be amazing to watch it happen. Lance, on the other hand, I don't know how he is, so...
I'm so wishy-washy.
I'll be honest.
I would prefer not knowing, I guess.
If it's not the way, just tell me no.
I want my jaw to drop.
Because if you stay silent, I know I'm partially right. Am I close? Okay. Well, it was a good theory craft because it logically could happen.
Just take that idea and make a whole
take
new
it
anime
and I'm
with
fucking run with it.
Yeah. That's going to be my next book. I'm going to use that idea.
Yes. I will. So for our listeners, the spoiler that I gave is not really a spoiler for anybody who really has spent any time researching Bleach, Thousand Year Blood War. You've found out about it. So apparently they did not spend too much time researching via the internet. So they were smart and only paid attention to the anime as they were watching it.
Yeah.
I don't read manga.
I've literally seen what I've told you guys like 3 different times while scrolling through Bleach things during this conversation.
As soon as I see Bleach stuff, like as soon as like new stuff came out, I avoid any social media like the plague because I don't want it spoiled.
It's not on social media. It's just, yes, it's on the internet.
When 1,000 Year Old Blood War got spoiled, all of the manga was a spoiler on there because everybody was posting it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
I mean, that's how you saw Yoruichi's Thunder form, you know? But it's going to be interesting to see how he can bounce back from that much loss.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. It's obviously that's got to be the start of season 3.
Is his bounce back?
Is his bounce back because like he is getting defeated at the end of season 2. So like, what are they going to do if it's not just him working towards figuring out how to win in the beginning of season 3? Like, they can't put all this build up and then him lose and be like, oh yeah, let's do this again in 1,000 years.
Yeah.
So.
No. Do you guys think that in Cour 3, the bounce back is going to be completely flipped where all of the Stern Ridders are going to now be on top and all of Soul Society is going to be begging for help, and they're going to be so dwindled on people, and it's going to be flipped completely.
It's going to be down to Ichigo and his group.
I mean, it has to.
It's going to be down to them, and I have a feeling Ichibei will lose to Yuabaha.
Yep, it has to happen. Because for all this drama to mean anything, Yuabaha's got to defeat Ichibei. He's got to enter wherever the Soul King is. We finally get to see what the Soul King is. And, I don't know, takes him prisoner, knocks him out, steals his power.
The thing is, though, he's already
something.
stolen Ichibei's power, and he got it back right away.
Well, I meant steal the Soul King's power.
Oh, yeah. What is the Soul King's power? I have read nothing up on, like, the Soul King.
The anime shows nothing, so we don't...
So he is the force that balances all three worlds.
The living, Hueco Mundo, and
the Soul Society.
Okay. Yeah. So he is the balance. So they kill him, it loses balance, and shit dies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Supposedly.
So he has no, like, real power. He's just more of a...
He's capital B
He's like
balance.
a gate. He's a safeguard.
Yep. It'll be interesting. I'm not going to talk about it because I know.
You already know, yeah. It's interesting. Yeah, I don't... Other than the scale has to be completely flipped, where our heroes have to be so on the defensive, on the brink of losing, in order for Cour 4 to make any worth out of it. That's what I'm thinking.
You still have a couple big Bankais to see.
Yep.
You still got Urahara's to see.
Yep.
You still have Shonsui's to see.
Yep. I'm so excited to see those two.
Oh, so am I. And then you still have, what's the captain that's always sick?
Oh, yeah. Jushiro.
Yeah, Jushiro. We have yet to see his Bankai. And technically, we still got yet to see Ichigo's.
Ooh, one other thing. I do expect to see Aizen again before the complete series ends.
100%. I didn't mention that in my notes because he's going to be probably in the next part due to the fact that they flashed to him for zero reason. I don't think there was a non-reason to that. Because they flashed to him down in the prison and then went back to the fights like it was nothing.
Yeah.
What if Aizen has some sort of role in the reborn of the Quincy's?
Interesting.
Because his play is Aizen's goal is now the same as Yuabaha's of getting to the Soul Palace.
Mm-hmm.
But why would he turn down Yuabaha then?
Or to begin with?
Because he turned Yuabaha because their plans were not the same at the same point because he wanted to take down the captains.
No. His goal to begin with was to get to the Soul Palace. Yes. So he would have told Aizen what his true intentions were.
Yeah, that was it. He just wanted to get up there. But that's what I was going to say is if Yuabaha's intention was to get up there, he didn't want anybody else to take anything that he could have also taken. I don't know how to describe that any further. Like, he didn't want anyone else to reap any more benefits. He wanted to be the sole survivor of whatever his main mission is in the Soul Palace.
Yeah, he didn't want to share any triumphs or any share in the spoils of getting there himself.
Right. So I can see that. One other big thing that I want to see is Chad. I miss Chad. I miss his power-ups. I miss that both of his arms can transform. I know him and Orihime were training together. I can't wait to see Chad come back and do something.
And for you, they've spoiled Grimjow now back-to-back parts.
Yeah.
And have yet to see the thing Grimjow. Is we don't know it is, but we know it is.
Yeah.
Because
the internet
he talked, but we never seen his face.
And the subtitles.
And the subtitles, because it goes, Grimjow. Thanks for spoiling it.
That, and, he's the only one with the hole in that spot. Yep. So,
yeah. So there's still a bunch of questions that gotta get answered, but there is a lot of big things that still have yet to happen.
Exactly.
Yeah. It'll be a lot of fun.
So I think that's going to close out today's episode of the Anime Lounge podcast. Thank you, everybody, for listening to us this far. If you have, that means you like us. Please leave us a rating because it will help us so much. Also, make sure to check out the Anime Lounge short flights on YouTube because multiple times a week we will post videos on brand new anime that just released and we talk about them individually. So it's a lot of fun. Please follow us there. Also, please follow the Animes Show on Facebook and Instagram. Stay up to date on everything anime related because they are posting so much information all the time. And with that being said, we'll catch you guys next time. Hey there, look at you listening to us at the end of the episode only to find out that there is indeed a couple minutes left. So, I was going to take this opportunity to share with you guys that spoiler that Matt had shared with us during his Matt's Manga Mentions. Now, this is going to be information about Yuhaba that was shared in this section during the Matt's Manga Mentions, but wasn't shared in the anime, obviously. We suspect that's going to be early information for Core 3. So, this is going to be that segment that I deleted in the normal episode. So, if you don't want to know about Yuhaba, go ahead and end it now. So, without further ado, here was that segment.
He is human, by the way.
Yuhaba is human?
Yes, he is a human.
Ooh, that's interesting. Did the anime say that?
The anime says that his father is the Soul King.
Damn, I missed that part too.
I missed that. Did I fall asleep?
You know
I
what?
had to have fallen asleep. I don't remember that. You just fucking spoiled that.
Yeah, I did.
You fucking prick.
I'm an asshole. I'm sorry.
Go take a timeout. Stop with your manga mentions. Those need to go last.
All right. Should I leave that in there for
Nope.
funsies?
Nope.
No, okay.
Nope.
He's going to have to start recording this by himself. He's spoiling shit.
My bad. That's the first time I've really spoiled anything on accident in a very long time.
No, because we'll usually talk about it and be like, Lance, do you want to know? And he's like, sure.
Yep, my bad. Yeah, Yuhaba is human. But yes, anyway,